still have some major World Cup football to discuss on the SportsMax zone, but at the moment, SportsMax and organisers of schoolboy football in Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago have collaborated to form a new and exciting competition. It will be a first of its kind for high school football in the region, when the top two teams from the ISA competitions in Jamaica and the top two from the SSFL in Trinidad and Tobago will come together for a 4-team tournament in January of next year. The tournament will take place over a single weekend. SportsMax will be the major sponsor, with Tiger Tanks, which is the lead sponsor of the SSFL, also committing to the venture. St. Benedict's and Fatima are the confirmed teams from TNT already in, and they'll be joined by winners of the Manning Cup and the Costa Cup competitions in Jamaica. Those titles, of course, still to be decided. Now, to tell us more, we are pleased to be joined by the ISA president, Keith Wellington. Keith, this is something that we have thought about and talked about for so long, especially since both high school competitions are prominent fixtures on the SportsMax channels. How exciting is this for you as the ISA boss?
Very exciting, Lance. Good evening, good afternoon. It's very exciting for us. We are looking at how it is that we can extend our football season to allow for those who are more successful and who may be the better players to get more opportunities to expose their talents and to develop. And so this is one way that we think that it can be done. And we're happy that our partners in Trinidad feel the same way. This year is particularly good that it's happening based on the fact that both countries are celebrating their 60th anniversary. And as regional entities, we want to do everything we can to allow our young people to participate in the integration that is so necessary for the development.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to be linking with Maria Louis Gonzalez, who is the SSFL president. We haven't really caught up with him yet to give us, the side of the SSFL. But Keith, the quality of the schoolboy football in Jamaica is very high. I know they have the respect of their Trinidad and Tobago counterparts. I'm not sure if there's been any banter between you and the SSFL boss as to what might happen in this series.
Not quite yet. Not quite as yet. I'm sure it will come. We are so excited about what lies ahead that we have not had the time to go at each other yet. We are trying to make sure that this works. Nicholas, your CEO, has been instrumental in all of this so far, and we want to ensure that we get it to work well.
Yeah, Keith, speaking about the discussion, so you're talking about business right now, no time for banter. When, if you have the idea, do we expect this matchup?
We're looking at the second weekend in January.
Yeah.
So that's round about January 10th, the weekend of January 10th, or thereabouts.
And is it that the players are going to play some matches here in Jamaica and, of course, some in Trinidad and Tobago, and then we'll have the grand finale?
No, what we're looking at is to have an annual event. So this year Jamaica will host. So the Trinidadian teams will come to Jamaica and they will play over an extended weekend to determine the winner. And then in 2023, we are hoping that in 2023 we may actually schedule our calendar to make it an end-of-season event in December, so that we will travel to Trinidad and reciprocate what we do this year.
So we're not only thinking short-term, we actually have a plan for this to become a staple in our football product. Talk to us now about the importance of, the Trinis coming here to Jamaica, playing football with the Jamaicans, and of course, just the overall development of football.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be untrue to say that both Trinidad and Jamaica have probably the strongest tradition in football in the region. And so to expose the youngsters from both countries at an early age, not just in terms of football exposure, but social exposure, we think it is going to be very good for them. We also know that a lot of them play football with the aim of not just turning professionals, but also getting opportunities from colleges abroad. And this is another opportunity to invite down US coaches in particular to look at what we have in both countries, so that there is another opportunity for them as well.
Yeah, Keith, I seem to recollect an overseas trip to Florida with some of the schools teams, maybe an all-school team, competing in some festival in Florida at the end of a schoolboy football season. Does that still happen? And is that something that the players would have looked forward to in the past, which sets them up for this particular engagement?
Yes. So we normally would have had that trip to Florida in December, right after the Oliver Shield. When we last played in 2019,
yes,
we discussed with the organizers the difficulties we have in selecting our best teams, getting them visas and so on to travel around that Christmas period. And it was agreed that January would be a better period. But this year, it is still on the cards. So that may also be a part of the extended season for our players. So the Trinidad experience will be for the top schoolboy teams, while that trip to Florida would be for the all-stars players, those players who we deem to be the best of the bunch. And so it would be a representation of the best players from across both Manning and Dockerstown. So we are still looking to have that. As I said, we had a meeting last night with our coaches from the semi-final team, the 8 teams in the semi-finals, and I hinted to them that we are not going to just end at the Oliver Shield finals on the 17th. We're looking to have a kind of post-season in January that will provide further experience, because we still are thinking of the All Manning, All Dockerstown as well. So we want to extend that into January for some of our players.
All right, Keith, we're certainly looking forward to that clash. And as you said, it is an opportunity for players to travel, get some overseas experience and so on, because this is a development that young players need, and it is a part of their growth. It is a part of their growth, so we look forward to seeing that happen. But we're in touch constantly, so when the dates are finalized and so on, we'll have further discussion on that. Keith, thanks, man.
Thanks, Lance. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Keith Wellington, there, president of ISA, and Mariah. A huge clash here developing, because the Jamaica Schoolboy Football program is a highly sophisticated and mature product. I remember doing commentary of an intercol final in Trinidad and Tobago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. It was St. Anthony's against Naps, I believe. Sean Cooper, who is now the national under-17 coach in Trinidad and Tobago, was my analyst.
Yes.
And I asked him about the comparison that he would make between schoolboy football in Jamaica and schoolboy football in Trinidad and Tobago, because he was seeing a lot of the schoolboy football in Jamaica at the time. And he did suggest to me at that time that he felt that the Jamaican players looked a lot more mature and a lot more physically well-conditioned than the Trinidad and Tobago schoolboy players. I'm not sure if he has the same opinion now, because this is like 5 years on. But that's what he had said at the time. So if that holds, maybe the Jamaicans may have the betting odds favoring them going into this playoff.
Well, I'm not too sure about the betting odds, but what I will say is that football wins. You know, it benefits both countries. We need our players to play more games, and I'm looking forward to this. Both teams will benefit. Football on the whole, as I said, and of course it will just be important for the growth of football. So Trinidad will learn a lot of things from Jamaica. Jamaica will learn things based on their style, and you know, I just think it will be a mouth-watering matchup, and I can't wait to see when the first ball kicks off.
I agree with you 100%.
Well, still to come on the SportsMax zone, Nicholas Pooran has stepped down as West Indies white ball captain. Send us your thoughts and we will play it during our interactive segment. Nikhil Uttamchandani will join us to discuss that and the Super 50 Cup. But next, the FIFA World Cup has kicked off in Qatar, and Gareth Southgate's England were kicking in goals in an impressive opener against Iran. Simon Evans joins us next to discuss.